Good evening. Just so that you know, if you're logging in now, we will not be starting until 5:30. So we're just getting this open now to gather all of our folks that will be participating, but we will not be starting our webinar until 5:30 this evening. So we will begin then. Thank you. Now live, we are trying to get our illustrious principal online here. We're having a couple of technical difficulties, but we still have a few minutes. Ms. O'Neill, I have provided you access to your video. If you want to click twice, there you go. So we do have our closed captioner ready to go, but I do not see our translator yet.
Marianne, can you hear me?
Yes, who's that?
Juarez Cabrera Alejandra. I'm your translator tonight.
Hey there. Let's see here. We just need to get you into interpretation. Give me one moment.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, I'm going to switch you over and then you'll be live on the Spanish audio.
Thank you so much.
Marianne, Mr. Alvarez does not have co-hosting privileges.
I will do that right now.
Actually, is there a way for me to do that for you? Let's see.
Oh, got it. Mr. Alvarez, if you press the video icon twice, there you go. And I believe the translator is now on their audio. So I believe you can go ahead and start the meeting. We've got about 200 participants right now, and we are recording.
Miss Lomax is also on the Zoom.
I'll take care of everyone that's coming in at this point for you so you can go ahead and start your back to school night.
Hi, good evening, Balboa School families. Mr. Covarrubias, Principal, Balboa Middle School. Before we begin this back to school night event, I want to direct anyone that's interested in closed captioning to go to the bottom of your screen and click on the button that has 2 C's on it. For those of you that would like closed captioning, that is the closed captioning communication button that you need to click on in order to receive closed captioning services. I'm going to take a very brief Spanish break right now to direct those families that are in need of Spanish translation to get the Spanish translation services that are available for them. Buenas noches, soy Carlos Covarrubias, director de aquí Balboa Middle School. Y lo que voy a pedirle a las familias que se encuentren con nosotros esta noche es de que si necesitan traductor o traductora más bien para esta noche informativa, por favor vayan abajo de la pantalla, al lado posterior abajo de la pantalla, y va a haber un símbolo de interpretación. Opriman ese símbolo de interpretación para que puedan recibir interpretación de esta junta informativa en español. Gracias. Okay, so I believe we've covered those that would like closed captioning and those that are in need of Spanish translation. Once again, I'm Carlos Covarrubias, Principal of Balboa Middle School. Welcome to our 2020-2021 school year back to school night evening. I hope that you find this evening informative. And at the end, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us. We are aware that this is a very, very unique school year. Well, let's be honest, the second half of last school year ended on a very unique note, and this year has begun on the same note. And that, of course, we're talking about referring to distance learning. I want to thank all families that are part of our school community for being patient and supportive to every extreme measurable as it relates to our distance learning platforms and technology that at times fail. We're all aware that these glitches take place, and believe me, the district at every level is trying very hard to ensure that these glitches or malfunctions are addressed to ensure that your children's learning is maximized. So once again, thank you for all your patience, and please continue communicating with us, because we're all gonna only be able to get through this in a very solid manner if we're all communicating. Okay, so a little bit of information on our school. So right now on the screen you have talks a little bit about our administrative team. Mrs. Christine Lovitz is our assistant principal, and Mr. Tomas Gaetas is our other assistant principal. They're divided by alpha. A through K students fall under the alpha of Mrs. Lovitz, and L through Z students fall under the guidance of Mr. Gaeta. Not to say that if you're ever in need of support and one of the admin isn't on site, that the other admin isn't going to step in and make sure that your concerns are addressed. But for the most part, we do have 1,100, almost 1,200 students on site. So because of that, we have to find a way to administer the students by alpha, okay? Next slide talks to you about our counselor. Hopefully at this point, you've met your counselor. Those of you that are that have students that are 8th graders, you probably met your counselor over the past 2 years. And those of you families that are new to us as sixth grade families, then hopefully you've already met your counselor as part of the orientation days or supply distribution dates. And if you haven't yet met your counselor, I would urge you to send a message and let them know who your family is and what kind of supports your child might need to ensure that we address those needs. Real briefly, just on the counselors before I forget, they do also have a live link Q&A session. So if you have any questions you have for your counselors, know that they'll be available just like teachers will following our welcome webinar that's taking place right now. So a little bit about Balboa. This is our pledge. This is what we live by. This is our living document that we essentially all follow. Our first pledge is that being respectful, accepting diversity of others, leading by example, believing in ourselves, being organized, and having the positive attitude. We firmly believe that we follow this pledge, we get places. By following this pledge, we accomplish. By following this pledge, we maximize learning, we accomplish our goals. And there's no doubt in my mind that if your children continue to follow this pledge, they will be successful. A little bit about our school program overview. Growth mindset is a belief that we highly have here, and that is that abilities and intelligence can be cultivated and developed through an individual efforts. As you can see, there's 3 main building blocks, right? And under those 3 main building blocks are categories that address everything from our expectations that instruction has a high level of rigor to creating common formative assessments that will allow us to monitor progress, to behavior reflections and procedures. I will let you know that we are a school that really focuses on restorative practices. For those of you that are aware or familiar with those, as you know, what that entails is essentially students and staff communicating, students and staff developing relationships that will lead to a high level of trust. And for those of you that are a little bit unsure as to what they are, please feel free to communicate with us, and we will be more than happy to sit down and discuss those practices with you. 3 main goals. I mean, I don't want to read this slide point for point, but as you can see, everything that we do focuses around 3 main goals that we have as a school, and that is to have and continue having a very positive school culture and climate, to continue maximizing student learning, and to continue building upon a collaborative school community.
Hi, good evening. I'm Christine Lovitz, assistant principal at Balboa Middle School for the alphabet A through K. This is my 2nd year at Balboa, and I'm very excited to be back. As Mr. Koberus was just talking about, that school community, that working together to make our students successful, we do have parent-teacher conferences that occur here in middle school. However, unlike elementary schools, it's not for every single student. After the first grading period in October, we identify some students who might need some extra supports, and we invite parents for a week in November to come and have a parent-teacher conference. That's going to be a team conference with many teachers, not just one-on-one. And that way we can work collaboratively to support your students. However, if you feel that you've identified that your student needs some support, so you'd like to meet with those teachers, you can also reach out to us for that week and schedule a parent conference with us. To go over the synchronous teaching schedule that we have right now going on with distance learning, this is a typical week that we would have here at the middle school level. I like to call them the odd and even days. So Monday and Thursday will be our odd days where students will meet 50 minutes with their period 1, 3, and 5 teachers. On Tuesdays and Fridays, they will meet with their even teachers, their 2, 4, and 6 period teachers. And then on Wednesday, we have that half-hour period where they meet with their period 3 teacher. We kind of like to think of this as the homeroom or the advisory, or that period where they see this teacher 3 times a week, they see these students 3 times a week, they're engaging with those students and they're building relationships and they're staying connected to Balboa Middle School through that 3rd period class and that social emotional lesson that's occurring on those Wednesdays. However, as you see below, a week like this week where we had a Monday holiday, that social emotional day is not in the schedule. So for this week, students came to school on Tuesday and attended their odd class, their 135. And then on Wednesdays, 246, and then Thursday and Fridays stayed the same. In a little bit, Mr. Gaeta, the other assistant principal, will be speaking to what some other weeks might look like as we go through the school year, and we'll be posting a calendar that you can look at on our website that will have what periods are being attended each day.
So before moving forward, I realize that all of our board members are on site now. Well, virtually on site. So now that I see all of them here, I will be more than happy to thank them. I'm very thankful that you guys are here joining us. I know that you guys have other sites that you're going to visit. So any board member, if there's any words you'd like to share with our school community, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
This is Matt Alvarez. Just excited to be here for a virtual back to school night. I think this year we'll be able to hit a lot more back to school nights than we're usual. But we miss the energy and all the parents and families visiting the classroom. So hang in there tight. We really appreciate what the staff's doing and everybody at the school side to keep up the hard work, guys. And hopefully we'll get back to school sooner than later.
This is Jerry Dannenberg here. I would just like to thank all the parents for entrusting us with their students and let them know that we're working hard to try to get back to school as soon as possible, as soon as it's safe, and as soon as we can get permission from the powers that be that will let us do that. So take care, keep everybody safe and healthy, and thank all the employees for all they're doing for our children. Thank you.
This is Jackie Moran, and I just want to welcome everybody to the start of this very unconventional school year. You know, sometimes life throws you some curveballs, and COVID-19 was a really big one. So for all you students out there, we're all in a learning curve together with you this year, me included. And I just want to say I've never been prouder to be a Venturan, and to see how this community has rallied around its schools and its children and our staff. I'm just so proud. I know that together we can make this a very safe and successful year for all of our students, and be well. Thank you.
Hi there, this is Serena Rodriguez, and for some reason my video is not working right now. I think this is kind of par for the course for the year we're having. So see, glitches don't just happen to you at home, they happen to all of us. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you all for participating in your child's education. There's nothing more important that you can do to help your child be successful than be a partner to their teachers, to their admin, and to really support their educational journey. Know that we are here to walk beside you, and if you have questions or concerns, we're always available to listen and to do what we can to help resolve any issues that come up. We are really grateful that you're a part of our school district, and we know that through our partnership, we're going to really turn out great kids. So thank you for being here.
President Rodriguez, I think I fixed your glitch. If you hit the video icon, you can at least wave.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you, board members, for all of the support you're giving the school community, students, teachers, administrators. We really appreciate all the support you're giving us. Dr. Rice and Dr. Davis, superintendent and assistant sup, I believe, are now on. So any words? The floor is yours.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome. Like Board President Rodriguez, my video says that the host won't let me show my face, so I'll throw Carlos under the bus, no problem.
No, that's Marie-Anne. You can, if you hit the video icon, you can see it now.
It's not like I haven't been on video for way more than my share of time.
If you click your video icon, you should appear.
There we go. Thank you, everybody. I'm really happy to be here this evening. It's believe it or not, wonderful to see everybody, even if it is on Zoom. Of course, we'd rather be in person, seeing your bright, energetic faces bouncing around the campus from classroom to classroom. But what I just shared with the folks out at Anacapa is hang in there with us. We really appreciate your patience and all of the grace that you've provided us as we work our way through a really challenging year. This isn't going to last forever. We'll get through this together, and we'll be better off on the back end. We'll be much more ready to deal with crises. We'll be much more ready to deliver online instruction and more creative with technology and all those kinds of things that we're learning and getting better for the challenges that we face right now. So great to see you all this evening. Thanks a lot for everything you do. A special shout out to Carlos and his team out there at Balboa, and especially to the teachers and all the wonderful support staff that are there hanging in there with us. They've been working really hard to provide the best possible service to your kids. So Carlos, to you and your team, thank you so much for all you guys do out there.
Thank you. Dr. Davis?
Yes, sir. Again, I want to echo what Dr. Rice just said. I wanted to congratulate and thank all of our teachers and our classified employees that worked so hard over the summer, and our administrators and our counselors to get this school year ready. This is definitely a most unique school year, but we really appreciate the grace and patience that all you parents are having with us trying to build the plane as we fly it. And I think we're doing a pretty darn good job. There's glitches, yes, there's little things that come up from here and there, but I think for the most part, everybody's done a tremendous job, and hats off to every single employee of the school district for the great job that you've done. And also to echo a little bit about what everybody else is saying, that you know, moving forward, we really believe it's going to get better and better as we go week by week. And so just stay with us, hang in there, and enjoy the ride with us. Thank you.
Thank you, board members. Thank you, district leadership, once again, for all the support, and those district leaders that joined us that didn't have an opportunity to speak. I see Dr. Bayless out there. Thank you. Thank you for supporting us tonight. And hey, you're welcome to stick around as we proceed with this Back to School Night informational meeting. I would now like to give the virtual mic to Mrs. Tanya O'Neill. Mrs. Tanya O'Neill is our PTO president, and she has some information to share with families. So, Mrs. O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Covarrubias. Good evening, everyone. I'm excited to be a part of this very different, unique year and be a part of the Balboa PTO program this year. Just because we're all online, the PTO is still really working hard to support your students. We support programs such as equipment needed for PE kit for PE students, 8th grade celebration and promotion, assistance with field trips, Battle of the Books, spirit wear, Cheers for Children. But we also support faculty and staff. We provide enrichment funds and grants for outside items, or items that are outside of the general curriculum. And we host teacher and staff appreciation celebrations. And these are just a few of the things that we're doing throughout the year. So we really do need your involvement, even though we are only online. And due to this unique year, we did not get into including the PTO membership information in the back to school papers that you recently received. So please be on a lookout. We're going to be doing an online membership drive soon, and that will be coming through your email. So we would appreciate your support and your help any way that you can, because definitely it is for your kids and they do appreciate it. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Neill. Thank you for everything you're doing. All right.
Hello, my name is Tomas Kayet. I'm one of the other assistant principal here at Balboa. So welcome tonight. This is my 4th year here at Balboa. The alphabet that I serve for students is L through Z this year. And so just quickly want to go over a few reminders, not only about tonight in terms of logistics of what tonight's going to look like, but also just some general reminders as the school year proceed. So first thing is, you know, for any family out there that is still in need of any materials or supplies, please contact us. That can range from a Chromebook, an electronic device to get your students connected, to textbooks, to backpacks. We're here. We do have supplies for you. So by all means, please reach out to us. We definitely want to identify and eliminate as many barriers as possible. So, you know, please let us know how we can help. That is why we are here. Canvas Parent Observer accounts. You will start noticing as we have transitioned into Canvas that all assignments and work is going to be done through Canvas. The natural question becomes, how do I keep an eye on what my students are doing? And there is a way to do that in Canvas by creating an observer account. I'll walk through that in a second, some step-by-step directions how to do that. And so what I'm actually going to do right now is transition away from this slide presentation into our Balboa homepage. This is a great resource, kind of your first stop for any and all updates at our school. You are viewing this webinar, as you are viewing this webinar now, you clicked through our back to school night link here in the middle. That opened a page, another website, an additional website that we're using as just an additional place to house resources for students and families. And so what I would like to do is just scroll down to this link here. Again, you'll access this through our website where it says teacher presentations and Zoom links. Hopefully most, if not all of you, had the chance to go through at some point this weekend to view presentations by all of your teachers. These links will stay live after tonight. This is where you will go through and find a presentation for all of your students' courses. Go ahead and click on that. There'll be a presentation that all of your teachers have put together for you. This is also where you will click a Zoom link to attend your open house meetings. That's going to be starting in a few minutes here. So what we encourage you to do is follow your student schedule. And so whatever your student has for first period, let's just say they have Mrs. Bento for first period. What you'll do at 6 o'clock today is click into this link here, and Mrs. Bento will be available for you to answer all of your questions. Again, this page does have links and videos to all teachers and resources for tonight. So that is how you will access the schedule. Again, we're not on campus, obviously, we will not be ringing any bells, but we will ask that we can hopefully stick to this timeline here. Just helps you and the teacher stay organized when you're asking questions and being available for you. I would quickly like to also on this website just point out a few more resources for you, directions to how to create an observer account in Canvas can be found here. It's a pretty simple process. It's about 4 steps. You'll be able to, like I said, take a look at that. Get signed up for that. I would highly encourage you to do that. It is really detailed overview of what your student is working on. Class schedules for what all of our weeks look like. And then I do want to scroll up here. So I don't want to make anyone dizzy by scrolling too quickly here. Up here at menu, you will see our monthly schedule. As Ms. Lobet alluded to earlier, every month, depending on the number of holidays that are taking place and anything that else might be happening, is going to be a little unique. And so what we've done here is we're going to be posting month by month a schedule of what all of the days and weeks are going to look like. For example, here is our Wednesday schedule here in the middle, 2, 4, 6, and then you'll notice that the rest of the for a couple of weeks here, we've got sort of a traditional schedule. At the end of this month, there are 2 non-student contact days where your students will not be attending school. That's just as a resource here where you'll be able to notice that we'll start on a Wednesday with the SEL lesson and then jump in for the remainder of the week there. And so I would definitely encourage you, not only obviously tonight to use this site as a resource, but just continue to check it frequently. We'll be updating it as soon as there's new information for us to relay to you all as a community. We will definitely be doing that here. And so, thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing the screen now.
Are we having?
Well, once again, it's getting to that point where it's time for families. I'm sure you guys want to go and hear from your students, teachers. So we will be hanging around here. We'll leave this open for a bid just for any. I saw that there were a couple of parents that had their hand raised during this presentation. So we'll go back and answer those questions. But please, once again, any questions you have anytime, please don't hesitate to call us. Once again, communicating during distance learning is the best thing we can do. We need to be able to communicate so that we can address whatever issues and concerns come up at home with your children. So with that, I will say good evening for those that we don't see again, and for those that are gonna stick around and ask us questions, we're here. Thank you once again, district leadership team, parents. We'll see you soon.
Would you like me to go ahead and unmute those that are raising their hands so they can ask questions? You're muted right now, sorry. Principal Covarrubias, you are muted. Would you like me to go ahead and unmute those that would like to ask questions this evening? Can you hear me? Okay, so you're muted again. All three of you are muted. It's not letting you unmute.
Hey, Marianne, there's 3 people that have their hand raised that I'd like to address their questions.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and ask, they're indicated as number 119183. I'm going to go ahead and allow them to speak and ask their question. So if you're 119183, you can go ahead and speak.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you? How are you?
Hi, Mr. Principal and Assistant Principal. Thank you very much for taking my question.
Absolutely.
I thought of asking this question to Superintendent Rice. He left, but my question is, I'm looking at other school schedules like in California, like Oak Park or San Ramon, where my friends' kids are going. They have longer periods and also they have longer school schedules compared to Ventura School District. So I'm just worried why we have very short schedules and whether we are able to finish the syllabus or not, like for the school year. My son is in 6th grade right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately, that is a question that, needs to be addressed by the upper leadership at the district level. So I would urge you to address that question to Dr. Rice. Perhaps he can give you more details as to why we have the schedule that we have currently in place. So I would urge you to reach out to his office and if not to his office, or district's Department of Curriculum Instruction, and they can perhaps address your question as it relates to period lengths and whatnot.
Okay, yeah, I thought of asking him and he left. So
Okay.
Anyway, thanks for taking my question.
Okay, thank you.
Marianne, you're muted
Can't
right
hear
now.
you.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Isaac Gardamas, I'm going to go ahead and promote you to what is called a panelist, which means that if your video is live, your picture will be on here. You have an older version of Zoom, which is why I need to promote you to panelist in order to ask your questions. So turn off your camera now if you don't want us to see you. And I'm going to promote you. 1 second here. And if you want to unmute, you'll be able to ask your question now.
Hi, good afternoon. It's actually 2 parents here for the same 2 students at Balboa. First of all, Isaac is with Roberto, the father, and my daughter Chantel with my name is Amy. I have several questions. One of the questions was what the previous parent asked, which was answered. The second one was about the missing absence that shows on each of the students' parent connect. I know that we were informed that for the first 2 weeks, we were not going to be, the students were not going to be marked, even though each of the students, my boyfriends and my daughter were attending. In regards to the internet dropping every single time, they did attend it because we took some time off from work to be here for the first 2 weeks. So we know for sure they were attending.
Okay.
I don't think that they should have been marked absent, and I don't want it to be reflected in their students' profile because I know the absence does reflect.
Right.
That's one. second, I know that emails I have not been getting. I know that's something that I should address later with the school. But based on what you were instructing that Mr. or Miss Lobitz should be sending emails to certain last names, my daughter does not fall within that last name, but she's still getting emails from Lobitz. Those are two of the concerns. And again, I mean, three concerns based on what the extension of classes that I think should be more extended for kids to learn and have more ability to communicate with teachers, because even though they're in Zoom, they can still have like a full hour of classes and get breaks in between. I just feel that I think we have to communicate a little bit more in those matters.
Yeah, so let me, you know, the first question, I don't have a response in regards to the length of periods and classes and whatnot. I would urge you to communicate with our Educational Services Department in regards to that. Your second concern in regards to attendance, do me a favor, send us an email. Just out of curiosity, what email account or what email platform do you use to send emails through? Do you use Yahoo? Do you use Gmail?
I use Gmail.
Okay. All right. And the reason why I ask is because there are certain platforms that are not coming in through our district's firewalls. And Yahoo, for example, is one of them. So I just wanted to make sure that we do have that you do have an email account with the platform that does communicate with our district at the moment.
In regards to the platform, my boyfriend has.
I'm sorry, you cut off.
You muted. There we go.
Okay, I'm the first time here in Ventura Unified District. So I come from Oxnard School District, where that was some issues where you guys had to change or convert your system to something. That's what I was told by one of your representatives from IT.
Sure.
But I have not been receiving no emails at all. I know that's going to be addressed in a different scenario, but
okay.
I just feel that.
Yeah, so first things first, do me a favor. Tomorrow or tonight, whenever you get a chance, send me an email from whatever account you currently have. Let's make sure that account is the same account that we have in our systems. First things first. Attendance, send me an email. As part of that email, also let me know what dates you're referring to in regards to your child and your boyfriend's son or daughter being absent as well, and then we'll go ahead and take care of that. During the first 2 weeks, I can tell you that, unfortunately, there were a lot of technical difficulties going on. And to be honest with you, at this moment, we're still actually going back and cleaning up some of the attendance marks that were incorrectly put in. Okay, so that's not a problem. Just go ahead and send us those dates and we'll take care of it. One other thing that you mentioned while you were speaking had to do with you receiving information from Mrs. Lobitz. Even though your daughter falls under Mr. Gaeta's alpha, just know that communication for parents will sometimes come out of all three administrative offices. So the fact that you get information from Mrs. Lobitz, it's not uncommon, because there's times where, we all communicate directly with families, regardless of what alpha students fall under, okay?
Okay.
And then your third concern, I think we addressed the third one. Did we address it, or do you need a little bit more clarification on that?
Yes, you did. I'm gonna go ahead and email the attendance, the emails, which I did confirm, and on my profile has my same email.
Sounds good.
I'll resend it again. I don't have an issue with that, but yes, and then I'll send and communicate that with the extended time for students on the web.
Sounds good.
Web classes.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, we are going to go to Genesis Eve. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. I know that you had a question and your hand is raised. You also have an older version of Zoom, so I'm going to promote you to panelist, which means when I do, if your video is on, we will see you. So I'm going to give you a moment to turn that off if you would like. We are recording tonight's session, so I'm going to promote you to panelist now. And you should be able to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, very clearly.
Okay. Hi, Mr. Gallego. What's your name? Mr. Galleta? You're not Mr. Galleta, right?
That would be me, the assistant
Oh,
principal.
okay. Oh, well, this is Delilah Alderetti's mom.
Oh, hi.
I'm sure you guys are familiar with her.
Yeah.
My daughter's starting school with you guys this year, and I just want her to not struggle the same way Delilah did. I don't know, I'm unsure what an IEP is, but if you guys do see her struggling, maybe would be a different way we can handle it with her, because, you know, you guys know how Delilah went down, and I'm trying to better that for her this year. Will they be offering tutoring or?
At the moment, tutoring is something that's obviously we're unable to provide because that requires one-on-one work, right? So at the moment, no tutoring.
What exactly is an IEP?
So an IEP is essentially a plan, an individualized education plan for students that are receiving special education services.
Okay.
So that's what it is.
Okay, and also, how do I change my contact information? I go to work during the day and my husband's here during the day with the kids while they're in school. I would like the main contact to be with him.
Yeah,
and
did you indicate that on the emergency card by any chance?
Yes, I did. They don't even have him listed, I don't think.
Okay, so at the moment, we're in the process of updating the information that you gave us on your new emergency card and transferring it over to Q. So if I asked if it was indicated on the emergency card, because that way we ensure that it gets updated as you requested.
Yes.
I'll write a note down right now and we'll make sure that, you know, we look at that emergency card tomorrow to make sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Good talking to you again.
Okay, you too.
Have a good evening.
Okay. All right, looks like we have another question here. Jeff Homan, I'm going to go ahead and allow you to talk. And if you can unmute yourself, you're good to ask your question. Mr. Homan, if you're unmuted, you can ask your question. Hello?
I wonder if he accidentally left the computer on or something.
Possibly. So I'm going to go ahead and mute that. And I don't believe we have any other questions at this time. Oh, we have one more. Donnie Alvarez, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Go ahead and ask your question. Or actually, you'll need to unmute yourself to ask your question. Donnie Alvarez, if you have a question, you can go ahead and click unmute and ask that question now. Well, I think that might be it for this evening.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Mrs. Quiroz, thank you for facilitating.
You're very welcome. We'll go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll make sure that you get a copy of tonight's recording. And thank you very much for hosting our Balboa Back to School Night.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.